Well, friends, I need your help. I'm designing a watercolor palette, and here's a look at it. I love watercolor. I've been collecting watercolor palettes my entire life. I have hundreds, and it's my mission to bring you the best and the most affordable. And that's why I started designing paintbrushes. If you don't know about these, check in the info section below and you'll know more soon. But let's get to swatching this palette I'm working with. And friends, I can have any color you could imagine manufactured. This is just a selection, but it's a start. Let's take a look here. Here's the thing with me and watercolor. Some of you know, if you've been with me for a while, I am not big on mixing. I love to mix. I've been taught to mix. I'm classically trained in color theory, but I love the immediacy of having the most delicious colors right at my fingertips. And so when I'm designing this watercolor palette with my manufacturer, that's what it's all about. I don't want you to come to watercolor and have a palette that you have to learn all of this stuff, all of this mixing stuff, just to get the most out of the palette. My goal is for you to have a curated set of colors ready to go for you so you can make some serious art for joy's sake. So pinks are a big deal for me. And honestly, from talking to all of you on TikTok, here on YouTube, Instagram, and beyond, pinks are a big deal for a lot of you because pinks are very difficult to mix. Pinks don't occur naturally, especially, well, let me say this. The zingy, fluorescent, bright, corally pinks don't always exist naturally in the way that you envision them in your head. So we see all these beautiful, bright pinks and corals, and then we try to mix them, and it's like frustration city. So my palette will definitely have some incredible pinks so that you can mix some incredible corals. Purples, another big deal. Like, let's have a party with purples, right? They've got to be good. They can't be chalky. They have to blend with other colors really well. Another thing I'm looking at when creating a palette from scratch, like how mind-boggling is that I'm able to manufacture a watercolor palette from scratch, but I'm looking for colors that attract each other on the page. You know that watercolor explosion that happens when the watercolors are good quality and they just kind of like explode into each other and they don't stop when they hit each other. The colors are almost attracted to each other. That's what I'm after. So you might be wondering, okay, Kristy, why are you telling us all this? Like, why do you care what we think? And that's at the crux, the heart of all of this process. Oh my gosh, look at that color though. I gotta stop and just say hail to that olive green. Anyway, it's important for me to get your input, not because I want to lure you into buying my palette someday, but honestly, you're the folks that are using these kind of colors every day. You're out there using different palettes, getting frustrated with certain palettes, getting really excited by others. And I want to hear your feedback. We all love color, right? So I want to hear which one of these pinks is your favorite? Which one of the purples makes your heart just go boom, right? And see that water, how it works through these pigments. These are dye-based pigments. It's another point to bring up. That's what gives them their brightness. They're so strong. They're dye-based, but it was also important that the staining quality, which means when a color stains and it's high staining, you might have heard that before. It means that as soon as it hits the paper, it really soaks in and it's hard to lift. It's hard to kind of move that color around. I wanted bright color, but I didn't want super high staining color. And that's what we've been working on, and that's what we've got here. So here's the kind of the cool side of the color spectrum. But remember, I can have made any color imaginable. And I have a couple of special pigments up my sleeve that I'm not even showing here yet. But friends, as you're watching this video, I would love for you to think about what your favorites are. Towards the end of this video, I'm gonna have a screen and you can take a screenshot of it, you can pause, and there's 47 colors that I'm swatching out today, and I'd love to hear your top 5. So pause that screen when it comes up and just in the comments, list out your top 5 favorites. Now, there's definitely going to be more than the 5 colors in this palette. I promise you that. But knowing the top 5, I've taken this poll in a bunch of different places, and I thought it was high time I took this poll on YouTube because I really value your opinion here. So look at these blues, friends. So blues are tough too. Pinks are really a challenge, but blues are as well. If any of you have more than 1 or 2 or 3 watercolor palettes, you know that sometimes you get a palette and all the blues feel so similar. So similar because it's really difficult to manufacture blues. So blues are important to me. I'm a big fan of seeing a lot of interest and difference between the blues that I will bring into this palette. Turquoise is important. There's definitely going to be some fluorescence in my palette because y'all know how I feel about fluorescence. Now, if you want to hear more about this project and what's going on, you can watch this short because I introduced the whole project and why and what and when in about 30 seconds. So you can have fun watching that. All right, here we go. Here's a look at the swatches as they're drying. And here comes the screen you need to pause on soon. This is just a look. The screen's coming up, I promise. All right, here it comes. You want to pause this screen. Let me know your top 5 favorites. I can't wait to hear what you think. And if you want to know more about the way I mix color or don't mix color for that matter, watch this video next. Happy painting.